So hello everyone, I'm here, welcome to my review during from episode 17. The episode was amazing. It had so much content. So let's see how long the review is going to be, but it had so much content. First of all, someone finally had sex. That's going to be the title, yeah. Someone finally had sex. That is huge. And it sounds kind of silly, but like I watch a lot of teenage drama, right? Of course, because you look at me, you know. No, but seriously, I always hate in those dramas or whatever, like, you know, when they don't really have sex, right? And it's heavily implied that someone probably had some sex, but they really do it. And anime in particular is good with doing that. It's kind of like, well, they're kissing here, and then they cut out, and then trying to say, I was super happy to have that last scene before the papa. Then we see that, okay, so Mitsuru and Kokoro kissing, it cuts away, right? I thought that was going to be the end for them, and I was like, okay, I guess we have it to assume they had sex. And that was like, yeah, but then we actually see them in bed naked, right? So I was like, that was so good. That was so good. It truly was. That really gave me. That was very satisfying. So I was very afraid that we're gonna go that route, right? We're showing them that okay, they're very likely used to have sex now. She's all into getting babies, and you know he's all into like redeeming what he did to her. Also comforting her, right? And the only thing she actually wants is to make babies. So how would you comfort her? Well, probably with your connecting the bodies. I don't know how it works, yeah. I like the dialogue is pretty fun though. The dialogue is freaking sweet in During in France. They have no understand sexist. So I just love that dialogue. She's like, well, if we like unite our bodies together, it can create life or something. It's very textbook trying to understand sex there. They're like intercourse. How does it work? Well, if you connect our body parts in some way that creates newborn something. It's like magic. It's like, really? That works? It's like that was great. But yeah, so that was extremely satisfying, and I think it was very good for the anime side for us, because the anime has been a little silly on that, this anime, especially with 02 and Hiro, where they are teenagers, they are naked a lot of times, right, and they have this weird sexual encounter, so on. And also, of course, they have this absurd sexual metaphors all the time in this anime, mainly for viewers to laugh at, right? It's like, oh, they touched my ear, but look at my button's angle, and they have that thing going for them all the time, right? But it feels almost impossible that these teenagers living together too, but I guess they have the supervision of Nana and so on, but they don't really have anyone there, right? There's just the kids there. Coming out after the mecha when it's like, oh, butt in my face, that stuff like that. No one would ever try to do something with someone, like, or they would ever talk about that. Even though, yes, they haven't learned about it, but if they obviously get the hormones, it started to make less and less sense when you watch the anime, right? That no one ever actually would have any sexual intercourse or something. So I think that is actually very satisfying that the anime finally let someone have sex with, because it makes sense. It really makes sense. Especially with the Kokoro, of course, being all the baby thing. Talk about that first step. Because I know, I was talking about the horn thing. That's so much horn. Rekugama doing 001, Spider Lady, probably Mother Sister 2, evil, fucking 9 Alpha being so evil. They said there's so much episode. So first, see Kokoro though. Still Kokoro, yeah. That feels weird too. I'm talking about Kokoro here to begin with, and not the blue horns of Hiro. But anyway, Kokoro again. So I actually really liked the whole Kokoro thing. I mean, I kind of course, hated her with the whole Netterare, cuckolding, Futush thing, the power to his eyes. That was weird, and she definitely betrayed him, and I would forgive her that. But as a character now, she's really growing, right? I really like how she's right now going up here, having a real characterization, being a character that really affects everyone else. She's like, well, I want to have sex, I want to make babies. I read this book, How Humans Reproduce. I have the sexual reproduction organs. Why would I have them otherwise? And now it's like, oh, to drive mechas. You need to be a woman so you can do the mecha thing. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense. Why can I produce? Yeah, why can I have that stuff, right? Why do I have all of the functionality of a female if I can't actually be a female? It doesn't make any sense to her. It's like, what? So I really like that, because one thing that I like to see the anime is how the kids are starting. Of course, they've been going on for a longer time, but how they are more and more being like, I want to follow this god. I want to follow this, like, the evil papacy, this indoctrinated society. It says, makes sense, but yeah. So I really like how she's the one now being the biggest rebel, right? Yeah, no, I actually had sex here, so he's clearly the biggest rebel. Is sex illegal? But it's illegal, and so on, right? Just talking about having sex and reproduction is illegal. So doing the act is, of course, absurdly illegal, and they might be in big trouble now because they are being supervised, right? So there might be some cameras or voice, whatever. So they might knew that they had sex, right? So they might be expelled from the mechas. Maybe Mitsuru and Kokoro gonna get killed off. Who knows? But they're probably gonna be in a huge world of trouble next episode, right? But still, though, she's the biggest rebel now. She's past Zero 2, and I like that too because it's kind of funny now. Zero 2 has been this absurdly, let's say, horny, in your face, look at my titties, oppai kind of with Hiro, is my darling, with all of that, and then this other woman gets in the Soviet Unity before Zero 2, and that's like, sorry girl. Even though they had a lot of Zero 2 and Hiro in the episode, Kokoro and Mitsuru did it before them, right? So actually it's a quite good written story there. It really is. But generally, yeah, I really liked it, how she is the one that's mostly against the papacy then. And then that affects all the children, right? So her decision making here, her will to be, a normal human and so on, makes the rest of them questioning the big thing, right? So Roman did it last week as well with the whole getting the food thing. And no, he told everyone. So Roman tells everyone. That was awkward though. Yeah, they enter. It's like, what's the? So Roman told everyone you were trying to have sex. It was like, man, really? You tell everyone living through it, they are doing it. Just like, come on, man, come on. But yeah, so that was good friend, good friend. I don't know. It's kind of like the whole just so indifferent. Yeah, it's the DDR. It's the Soviet. It's a way he's kind of like he's so into the laws of the world, even if the law makes no sense. So he sees his two friends kissing, and he's like, okay, that's illegal. I have to go and tell the cops, right? Yeah, even though it makes complete sense they would kiss each other because they like each other. So of course he has to follow the law, right? So I think it makes sense that he would do it, but obviously it's kind of like almost super annoying, laughable. That's interesting with the whole anime right there. They have the very indoctrinated, very mind-controlled society. Everyone is a slave, right, to the papacy. But yeah, and that was followed by the. I don't know whether they were naked, but Hiro and Mitsuru see the fact like, oh, I guess they have pants on them when they're swimming because they don't want to censor it, even though they usually censor everything else. So I don't know whether they were just naked and censored their members. They could have worked, yeah. And they wouldn't make more sense, to be honest, if they were naked together. But anyway, so I was like, why aren't they naked? Like, the girls are always naked. Why are the two boys not naked when they're doing this weird thing in the water? Like, philosophy talking in the water. Why are they not nude? Whatever. Okay, so Hero part. Okay, so we have the Hero part. We have the two horns. When I first saw it, it clearly shocked me, and I was happy to see it. But at the same time, I did think the episode was going to be more about that. The episode was going to be, talking more about Hero transforming again. And you show those things. They were doing like the horn little, they're doing like the let's rub our horse together, and then they were kissing, and it was very, very cute and beautiful. So it was a good scene, but I was surprised it didn't even come up at all later on in the episode. Yes and no. I mean, I expected it to be like that, but then as soon as we did the Kokoro baby making part, so it was like having sex with Mitsuru, so that was very important. It made sense that they were talking about horse anymore because that sex thing is actually even bigger for the anime, because he is transforming on and off for like every episode, right? So. So in that sense, what can you say? Yeah, the blue horn thing, people talk about the Oni thing for a long time. I've been saying that definitely he's going to turn into a blue version. She's a red to the blue, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I thought he was going to transform in episode 6, right? Yeah, I was like in episode 5, I was like reviewing, I was like, he's going to transform next week. He's going to, the blue thing here, he's going to get blue skin, it's going to be freaking awesome. He might turn into a female, it's going to be, gender bender, it's going to be freaking cool. And they're going to swap position as the Nines are doing it. And as I said, way back episode 2, I was like, okay, they're going to be doing the male down there in the bottom. Definitely someone's going to do that. That's going to make them stronger as the Nines are doing it. And so on. So I was talking about that stuff very early. And so I don't know. In one way, seeing the horns is making me slightly angry, right? Because I feel like, come on, you have done this so many times now when Hiro is almost transforming. When it's like, that's kind of fool, and he's like almost evolving, and it's like, no, back to human again. Yeah, so hopefully this time he will transform eventually. I suppose, right? Those horses are going to go away, and I guess he will turn blue, and he gets the blue horse like just a red horse, and and so on. And I don't know. I was hoping they won't be reverted. Also, for one reason, that's a good point. Is that 02 had a moment here, right? When everyone is like making babies, getting children, so we can live on as with our kids. And since we have met Siroma's mother though, so they seem to have children anyway. But and I can guess with Nana that she is a former pilot, right? And they just mind wiped her, but she was like too old to pilot probably. But anyway, talking about that thing, everyone's like, maybe we can make babies, just do it right here, right? And then we have those things, they're gonna live on, and we can live together in this house, and whatever, right? Yeah, have our little Eden, this episode is called. And then 02, it's like, yeah, you can have babies, but I can't. I'm not human. Yeah, just to say human, but she's kind of like damn you humans. Yeah, and she gets kind of sad and angry there. She cannot reproduce. She has soups. So I think that is a huge point in episode 2 here. That she is Kokoro and Mitsuru has finally had sex. They want to make babies, but it also see that we see Hiro 2 and 02. Yes, sorry, Hiro 2. It sees Hiro and 02. They're doing it. They're kissing. They're making out. They're getting more involved, and she is sad because I can't have babies. Okay. She's like, you go girl, go get babies. That's good for you. I can't have babies. But if Hiro transform, right, they can have babies. So I think definitely that again is a reason why he's gonna transform, because of course he has to pregnant 02, right? It has to be a huge thing here. This is absurdly foreshadowed. And actually I like that because a lot of people are saying that she's gonna die, she's gonna be sad. But I think this is like a reverse after here. But see this episode here, I feel that no, 02 is gonna survive because she's gonna get pregnant by Hiro. He might die, I guess, but she definitely will survive it because it feels like she's a big point there. How she's like, I can't have babies. No one can mate with me. My life sucks. I'm the only one of my race. And then she's transforming here to be of her race, so they can have sex and have babies, right? So I think it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense that they will have babies, right? That actually reverses her death like by a long time. In my opinion, for sure. It's so much. But more. That's the hero thing. He very likely to transform. Use from alone for having to be able to mate with her. So we have Reiki Gamma. She's doing the 001, right? She's doing the clusters, the big dragons and everything. That was pretty cool. I guess in the little one was an android thing, and I'm wondering how much the papas are even humans at all. Maybe most papas are just androids completely. They could be the matrix, something I mentioned several times when looking at the storyline, how they are just bio-mecha humans, right? Just bioengineering the humans. So they could be that the papas is just all androids, just sentient AIs, right? Controlling the humans. Definitely a big possibility. They might all just be AIs. For sure. At least one of them was, definitely. Which she easily defeated and just shot the head of one. And she's 100 years old, so I'm thinking that she's probably... I would theorize that she's probably 02's sister, right? But it feels like mom is also a possibility. But I still think definitely this is relative to 02, and either of those two seems for me is very high, very likely, very, very likely. And they have the exact same mouth for a short, brief moment here, kind of fang. I mean, it's a fang mouth, but I guess it looks exactly the same. In my opinion, this was very, very, very similar. So it's like, clearly, evidently that they are related, right? Okay, so for that thing, okay, then we have the 9th, we have the 9 alpha. 9 alpha is 9 alpha. He's so evil. He's so evil. I mean, we have all of the characters, right? And 9s has always been. They always look menacing and mean, and of course, generally they are fanatically, religiously, following the papacy, right? They're obsessed with the papacy. So of course she's like, I have news, Papa. This woman had sex. Let's burn her on the stake. Yeah, of course she's like, witch. He wants to do that thing right clearly. But all of his scenes, he's like, he's out the door like, you're a proved teenager again, girl. Every scene he did, he looks so evil. Especially just in the point when he's both like, oh, you're disgusting, Kokoro. You're disgusting human. You want to have sex. Sex is for losers. We have evolved past that. We're a higher race. We don't have sex anymore. Sex for like monkeys. you're a freaking monkey, I will murder you, like that's the thing. That was evil, but then later on when Nana is getting her time, you know, remembering her love or something, and he's standing at the doorway, he's like, weak woman, you will die too for your teenage woman, you weakling. And he stands there, looks so evil. He stares at her from the doorway. That was a good scene there. And I mentioned that last week, how I think that she was mind wiped with the Franxx, and that seems to be absolutely what happened. Exactly why we don't know, but I'm guessing one reason is because she kind of survived being a pilot, and then they're like, well, let's use her, just remove her teenage memories and make her an adult people now. Probably something like that, with the parasites, you can hang out with other parasites, something like that, making her useful parasite. I guess the same thing probably with him as well, right? Something like that, I suppose. But yeah, so the Papa now, they're gonna go down, have war with 001, with the queen or the princess. They talked about how she is the one that created everything, how she's the one that created the Franxx. I mean, so they probably did build the pilot of the Franxx, right, based on the Claxurus, probably, definitely, yeah, for sure. And now they're going down there. I think I have to say, why it's not happened yet. I'll say this for several weeks. I think the storyline is pretty obvious. They're gonna go down there, right, and Hiro wants to be like, well, that one she's clearly the good one. Yeah, the Claxurus is clearly the good one. Let's change sides and gonna join the papacy. I think that is so obvious, and especially now here with the whole nine alpha, like I will kill you all. Yeah, that whole thing, especially with him calling everyone disgusting and wanting to kill them and so on, and Ikuno slapping him, and she's like, you shut up, yeah. So she's joining, of course, the rebellion, right? Yeah, I'm just waiting for the rebellion to happen, and then to see fighting the Papa. But yeah, that's a good idea. I think the Papas might just be androids. They might not even be alive. I think that's a good point that I want to make. So anyway, hope that's the review, and I'll see you guys next week.